I'm not going to test much of your patience because it's already an ideal Sunday and you've come all the way here to listen to some interesting stuff about flex, and we're already running out of time, so I'll try to make this presentation as short as possible. Okay, my presentation, the next 15 to 20 minutes I'll be discussing about Away3D with all of you. Before moving into my presentation, I would like to extend a very heartfelt thanks to Mr. Devaraj for having provided me this opportunity. And I didn't introduce myself just yet. I'm Iyswarya, I'm an intern at Adam Studio India, and here was my presentation. Okay, so I have planned my presentation like this. I'm only a beginner as far as Away3D is concerned, so I have planned to give very few basic information about Away3D and a few examples to give you a picture of how Away3D exactly works and what kind of richness it provides to applications. So Away3D, as you all know, is a real-time 3D engine for Flash or text, and it makes use of ActionScript 3 for scripting. It was started in 2007 by Alexander Zelleroni and Rob Bateman. Okay, few other 3D engines that exist along with Away3D are Paper Vision 3D, Alternativa 3D, SAM 3D, etc. And Away3D, because of its functionality and a few features, is considered much similar to Paper Vision 3D, but it differs from Paper Vision 3D with respect to its performance and scalability. Okay, these are the applications or few prominent websites that make use of Away3D. Adidas and Sony Vaio, you can probably go click at the URL and go through those websites. It's a very clear example of a clear example that proves you the richness of Away3D. And a very prominent example will be Cafe World. Cafe World is an online game which makes use of Away3D for its functionality in 3D. And thanks to Facebook, that application the application Cafe World is being played by 23 million users, and the count is still growing, and it is undoubtedly the most awesome experience that it provides for making use of Away3D. Okay, that is the end of my presentation. Now we shall move on to the demo. So as I told you, I'm not going to explain you much into the technicalities of Away3D or something like that. I'm just going to provide you a feel of what Away3D exactly looks like in an environment, working environment. Okay, this is nothing but this is the design of a room, and there are so many objects inside, like the chair or the home theater and all those things are there. And how does Away3D comes into picture in this particular application is that an object is at first developed in a 3D tool like Google SketchUp, Maya or 3D Max for a 3D skeleton. Later on, the faces are applied to those DAE files, and it makes use of Away3D for that particular functionality. The textures that are present in this particular image are real JPEG or GIF images which are applied as it is to the DAE files that are developed in Google SketchUp or Maya. So this guy would have driven us crazy when we were kids. Okay, so this makes use of mouse interaction. This image is a DAE. The DAE is actually developed in Google SketchUp Maya because it is a complex image. It is like if we make use of primitive shapes like a polygon, primitive shapes like a sphere or a cylinder, then probably we can make use of the native coding technique in Away3D itself. But since this is a very complex image, the images can be developed in a 3D tool like what I said, like Maya or Google SketchUp. Later that we can apply these textures alone with the help of the 3D, with Away3D. So as you can see, the Mario, he moves in the direction as I move my cursor. So this is a much more advanced example for Away3D. This differs from the previous two examples because this allows you to actually select few options at the runtime. So when you want to develop any virtual library, you can probably make use of this kind of application using Away3D. Provides a drop-down list, as you can see, and all these are provided in a 3D environment. That's the specialty of this particular application. Okay, this is a very simple example. With respect to my mouse clicks, the number of objects and faces increase in count. That is what this example is all about. Probably this would be a much better example to look at for those things. The image is developed in, the image is actually a DAE file will be generated from the 3D tool, and the faces will be applied from Away3D. So it performs the corresponding actions as I click the mouse. So this. So the internet games or any other games can be very well developed in a 3D environment with the help of Away3D. And how this particular thing is accomplished is that the actual image is developed in a 3D environment, and it will be the pixels will be marked, and the pixel corresponding to each particular action will be given in the 3D tool, and when we click the particular button, the corresponding pixels will be called, and thus the image can produce any actions.